This is going to be my first keynote sitting, which is awesome, very comfortable. So my first question to everyone would be, who in this room would like to change the world? Okay, some. And I would like to challenge you in saying, what if the most radical thing you could do to change the world is to actually change yourself? So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I have conviction in this statement and take you back to my own journey that started pretty much when I was a child. I never quite fit into the system. Everyone wanted to become a doctor, a lawyer, something existing, and I just thought, it's not quite what I want. And I always loved the idea of starting something from scratch. Even when I was young, I was selling candy from door to door to my neighbors. And that led me to start my first company in the last year of my university, and that never stopped. I never worked for anybody else and always been both an entrepreneur and a community builder at the same time. Now, when I was building my first company at uni, something else happened to me at the same time. It was a physical illness that suddenly happened, and that really challenged my worldview and what I wanted at the time. And I went to the doctors. They would say, we don't know what to do about it. There's nothing you can do. Go, just live with it. And as the entrepreneurial spirit, right, you don't really accept an answer like that. So I thought there must be a solution because every problem has a solution. I'm going to figure it out, right? And that sent me down a path of deep, deep inner excavation, I'd say, of exploring the worlds of medicine, alternative medicine, mindfulness, everything to figure out how I could get myself to a healthy place again, which I managed to do. And I'm so grateful that that happened because that really changed the trajectory of my life, including my trajectory as an entrepreneur and how I show up. And what I learned, one of the most important things I learned was that the longest journey we take in our lives is from our head into our heart. It's about 30 centimeters long, but not everyone's going to get there. And I hope that all of you are eventually going to get to that place. And why I'm saying that, or what do I mean by that? So the mind is brilliant. I mean, we all in this room have extremely smart, intelligent minds, and all of the world's greatest innovation exists because of the power of the mind, our intelligence. I guess if we all put our intelligence in this room together, we could probably build a rocket, right? And at the same time, our minds are also our greatest enemy. And you can probably all subscribe to that, right? There's this monkey mind. It's like, oh, overthinking, over-criticizing, sabotaging ourselves. And so the mind is a really amazing tool, and it isn't always the greatest compass, I'd say. So what I've learned is that my heart is my compass and my mind is my executor, in a way, and it just follows the orders. And there are actually a lot of studies that show that. So the heart has an electromagnetic field that is 60 times greater than the mind, than the brain. And it also has its own little brain, which is about 40,000 neurons, so it kind of senses things, it remembers on its own. And it actually sends more signals to the brain than the other way around. So it really is as though the heart is your direction. And for me, over these last 10 years, I really feel like I've been learning how to align those two through different kinds of modalities, through regulating my own nervous system, through mindfulness, meditation, everything. And it actually made me show up as a much better person, a much better leader, a much better co-founder. I'm able to deal with conflict much better. And it may all sound really soft to you, right? But at the same time, I'm able to stand my own ground. I'm able to say no, to set boundaries. And actually, 65% of startups fail because of co-founder conflict, because of relationship conflict and any of these things, because everything is relationships, right? We work with people. And that to me is just such a stark reminder that it's not just a nice to have to work on ourselves, but it's a must have. Because so many great companies, and I've invested myself in companies that really struggled, not because their innovation wasn't great, it was fantastic, but because something in the team between investors just didn't work out, and it was such a pity. And that's the message that I also want to share, is that we really have to look within so that the work that we do on the outside really can reach the level of impact that we want it to reach. And I'm here representing the Sigma Squared Society, as you already heard in the previous panel. We're a global entrepreneurship network of what we call the world's most ambitious founders under the age of 26. We have over 1,000 founders worldwide. I've been building this community for 8 years of my life, and I have to say that this community really showed me that it is possible to have ambition and kindness at the same time. That you can build the craziest shit in the world and at the same time be a caring human being, right? And really the opposite is the winner takes it all. And Sigma is not about the winner takes it all, it's about all winning together and taking it all together. Because we all are here to support each other. In fact, our tagline says, what if the world's most influential leaders were friends 20 years ago? So there's an emphasis on two parts here, the influence and the friendship. And those can go together, and it doesn't have to be this sharky world where, you know, one eats the other, but it can be a world where entrepreneurship is redefined through a different set of values, where we act from a place of humility, kindness, curiosity, of care for each other. And in fact, all of our founders, and there are probably way more than that, but we've raised more than $3 billion in capital over the last few years. So that alone is just an example of you can raise money, you can be successful, and you can also embody the right values and act from a place of care and kindness, right? So I'll definitely ask you to come to our side event. As Greta said, it's at 3 p.m. And just another thought on this alignment, because in the previous panel there was some conversation about why should you start a company, right? And to start a company is to, I mean, you can say, oh, I want to just have the title of a founder, or, you know, maybe it's coming from a different place. And I noticed for myself that when there's this alignment inside of myself, then the purpose almost feels like something that you can't not do, right? If you're a musician, you play the piano, you play the guitar, and no one tells you got to do that, right? It just flows out of you because you live it. You have to do it. And I feel the same with entrepreneurship. It's that even if the world tells you don't do it, it's too risky, it's too that, but that's something in you, there's a spark in you that motivates you to go out there and just do it. And I feel that, because the mind is the fear part of us, right? So when we can actually align those two and bring it into coherence, then the heart can say, I want to go and try this out and build this thing, right? And the mind can go, okay, we'll do it, you know, let's put the fear aside and really feel into that purpose. Or you can say, I care so much about healing the planet from the climate crisis, right? And I'll take all the challenges that are being thrown at me, because the entrepreneur's journey is a lonely journey, it's a hard journey, right? And there are going to be challenges thrown at you all the time. But you're going to be able to withstand those challenges when you will always remind yourself of that purpose, of that alignment inside of you. And for me, I have so much love for this community. I have love for this work. And I believe that there's a different world where we can do entrepreneurship from this place. There's actually a book that really inspired me, written by the founder of Whole Foods, which you all know. It's valued at billions of dollars. And he wrote a book about his own journey of how he managed to build this big company from a place of that deep inner alignment. And so I really believe that we can start setting different examples in our world. In fact, I've also been working with founders, running programs to really get from the heart from the head into the heart center within a very short amount of time. And I really think it's possible. So, you know, if there's a seed that I was able to plant inside of you today, it is that listen to what's whispering inside of you and follow that. And also work on yourself, right? Because there's actually a beautiful quote by Leo Tolstoy who says, everybody wants to, you know, change the world, but nobody thinks of changing themselves. And sometimes the easiest thing to look at is, what can I do today to show up differently, right? And what can I do to actually be in service of others and make the world a better place? And then all of that, all of the things on the outside are going to be a reflection of what's on the inside. So, yeah, that's really my message to you. If you're interested to talk about any of what I spoke about my journey, about my experience, about Sigma, we've got amazing founders here. And actually, I'm going to be interviewing 2 of our fellows in a bit on the stage about their journeys as young founders. Come talk to us, and I hope you feel as nourished by this new vision as I am. So, thank you.